Well, we beat a good basketball team tonight, of course. The tradition, the coaching, the players they have. Just really proud of our players for, playing for 40 minutes. They showed a lot of heart throughout the game because Kansas is a team that's, they're terrific. And I thought our guys did a great job of, just sustaining effort on the court. I thought we finished strong at the end of the game when Kansas made a really good run to tie the ball game up. I thought we finished strong, and those are things we were talking about as a team prior to us going away for Christmas break, how we have to play in conference. And I thought our guys, we reflected that today and how we finished the game.
I know every game's going to count the same at the end, but how important was it to get off to a good start, and what kind of statement does this say about this UCF basketball team heading into the Big 12?
Well, it's important, to get off to a good start, and it's more important about how we play. We talk about we're not playing the opponent in front of us, we're trying to play our standards. And, we have certain things we want our guys to do well every night, and we try to hold them accountable for that. And I thought, they understood coming into this game. A lot of those guys hadn't played in the Big 12. They hadn't played in the conference like this. And so I knew it would be their first time, and I just wanted them to go out there and just, follow their hearts, play for each other. And I thought they did that. And that's what you want to see happen, on a nightly basis. This is one of 17. We have 17 more that's going to be just like this. That's what I've seen in this conference. And so you have to have a short memory and move forward because you have so much to compete against that's going to be equally as competitive.
The players talked about how you put them through the gauntlet of rebounding drills at practice. What were some points of emphasis going into this one?
Well, it didn't work. We got all rebounded tonight. But you know what? We know that's an emphasis for us. We think, with our length, our size, we should be a really good rebounding team. But they have great length and athleticism and guys that are very good at that as well. So it's something that we have to do well in this league. This league is a physical league. Being able to control the boards is very important. And I thought our guys had some good moments, especially in the second half. I thought in the first half we gave up, 8 offensive rebounds. And second half I thought we were better, and that's something we had to continue to get better at.
Coach, you may have gotten out rebounded, but Devin Cambridge helped you guys really close the gap in the second half, getting all 8 of his rebounds there, and he helped you get to the free throw line quite a bit too. Just talk about how he stepped up today.
Well, Devin's our glue guy. We love him. He's one of our captains. He's one of our leaders. And he just does whatever you ask him to do out there on the floor, whether it's as a starter, whether it's coming off the bench. He's the same, no matter what. He just provides great energy, and he just really does fit well with whatever group we have on the floor, and he makes plays. And I was really happy for him because, after sitting out last year, he missed some of these opportunities. And so I just know how tough that can be as you're starting to get your sea legs back under you, as you're starting to get your timing and things back right. And so he's been going through that in the preseason. So I'm glad to see him, emerge and have a night like he had tonight.
Coach, we know how you preach taking care of the basketball. You only had 6 turnovers tonight. That has to make you happy.
Yes, it does. Our guys, we talked about the importance of taking care of the basketball and value and possessions. And I thought they did a great job against a team that's very active. They're long. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country. And so really, really happy with our guys and the way they handled their pressure and the way they, took care of the basketball.
Coach Self talked about how crucial UCF's rotation was, how the bench guys really came in and changed the game. What were you really thinking making some of those changes, and did you see a fit that fit a little bit better?
Well, we thought, throughout the summer, and we thought in the preseason that, and I think I've mentioned that our strength would be in our numbers with our group. Every group is different. Some groups are top heavy with a certain amount of guys. Our group, is one that's built with depth. We trust a lot of our players to come in and they can contribute. And so as long as they continue to do that, I think I said before, we would play with as much depth as we could play with. And we did again tonight. I thought those guys did come in and gave us a huge lift. Whether it's Chris Johnson coming in making some plays in the first half, whether it's Chris Parker coming in, late in the first half and having to defend Peterson, whether it's, Jeremy, Famina coming in, and giving us a blow at the 5 spot and making plays for us. So the guys, I'm just really proud of them. They all are confident that they know that we believe in them. And I think that's very important. They know that we believe in them, and I think they showed that tonight.
With this win streak that you guys are on, how have you seen this team kind of develop and battle against adversity, and with how kind of new this group was to come together like this, to have a game like this
Well,
week with the way things went?
We've taken it in small portions, just one game at a time. We've not really looked at the big picture of where we are. I mean, I don't even keep up with our record as far as those things are concerned, to be quite frank. Really just focusing on one game at a time, who we're preparing for, let's give them our best effort, let's play to our standards, is kind of things that we preach to our team, and not caught up in, okay, you won this one or you won this many in a row. You know, I don't want our guys to get into that mindset. I want them to get in the mindset of the most important thing is who we're playing, right in front of us, and nothing else matters. And when we can take that type of mindset and continue to mature, I think we can improve.
How have you seen this team kind of grow then, as far as kind of facing adversity? You guys have 9-point lead, gave it up, and still kind of have the plays at the end of the game to win.
You know, definitely, I think part of their ability, they've shown poise at the end of games. You know, we've been down, we've been tired, we've been in a lot of different situations throughout the season, of course. And but they've always shown that they can dig deep and they can find a way to make plays for us. And that's something that you want to see. And I think that, you know, I give a lot of credit to, you know, like Themis folks. Give a lot of credit to Riley Kugler. Give a lot of credit to Jay Michael. You know, our seniors, Devin. I think our seniors set a standard for us every day in practice on how we got to compete, how we have to look at getting better. And I think it carries over to the court where they try to do the things that we work on every day. But I think the leadership and our captains, you know, are a big part of that, and a reason why, you know, our guys, you know, coming down the stretch of games, you know, able to have some poise and make the plays that are in front of them.
Coach Self talked about your versatility, giving them problems, being able to go big with John Bull, for example, with going with Cambridge and giving them different looks defensively. Is this the most versatile roster from a defensive standpoint? It seems like you have a lot of options defensively you could go to with this roster.
No, it's definitely a versatile roster. You know, we can, you know, play different styles to kind of, you know, whether we're playing similar to where our opponents are playing or we want to do something different. I think we've built where we can, you know, make those substitutions and changes, and the guys are comfortable in doing so. You know, when we're in practice, you know, we put those guys in different situations like that to see how they respond, to see which groups work well together in certain situations. And then, of course, become game time. If it's something that we feel we need to do, you know, we're confident that the guys kind of understand what we want to get from them in those situations.
You've been a part of a couple of these court storming before. What's it like to be in the middle of one for one? And then, you know, how special is it, especially considering obviously Kansas's fans turned out pretty well today too?
You know, I'm just happy for our fans to have that opportunity, those moments. I mean, these are moments that these students and these student athletes will remember for the rest of their lives. You know, I can remember, you know, great moments, you know, when I played in college. And I just want our students and our student athletes to have those same type of experiences that I was able to have and share with my teammates and with my university. And that's what you want to see. And I'm glad no one got hurt. I thought it was done organized, but it was a time to celebrate, you know, and that was something that, you know, I was happy for them to have that moment.
Big conference win, big home win, but as you know, taking the show on the road in this conference is kind of where the true barometers begin. You got 3 days to get ready for your first one. What's the word you're going to say and the approach to get ready to really prove yourselves on Tuesday?
Well, we have to learn the lessons from this game, things that we can get better at. You know, when we give our guys feedback, because there are a lot of things we can still continue to improve on as we move forward. And then from there, we have to take a next play mentality, meaning that we have to, at the end of this day, this needs to be behind us. We have to throw all of our preparation into Oklahoma State, because that's how this league is. We're going to have, like I said, 17 more games like we had tonight. None of them are going to be different. All these teams are well coached. All these teams have a lot of talent. And so we have to prepare for it that way. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to get right back at it. We're going to talk about, you know, what we have to do to give ourselves a chance to compete, you know, in Stillwater.
Coach, I want to ask you about Riley Kugel. I know he has connections to Kansas. He was, you know, committed and signed to go there last year. It didn't work out. He comes back and kind of one of his best games, you know, that he's had in quite a while. So just kind of talk about his contribution side. Did this game maybe, you know, mean a little bit more to him?
Well, I love Riley. I mean, you know, Riley is a terrific talent, and I'm glad he had an opportunity to, you know, play for his home team. You know, which I find, you know, really, really nice. He came back home to play for his senior year, and I had watched Riley through high school. I was hoping I'd have an opportunity to coach him at some point, and well, I got him now, and so. You know, I didn't realize that, you know, the Kansas thing with him. I didn't know that, but you know, I know Riley. Riley's a competitor, and he wants to win. You know, more than anything, he wants to win. And I thought he showed that tonight, but with the type of effort he gave.
And can you speak on just how the team kind of rose to the challenge late in the game? You know, they storm back, they tie the game, and Jordan hitting that shot in the corner. We didn't know who was going to take the shot. He's there, it takes it, it goes down. Just kind of talk about that particular moment.
Well, it's having poise, and that's where I think our senior leaders come in. Jordan is still developing in what we do, but the senior leadership, the guys, like I said, Themis, Riley, J. Mike, Devin Cambridge, they set a great tone for how we have to play, play for each other. They're very unselfish, and it becomes contagious. I think in that possession when he hit the three to go up by 3, I think 2 players had opportunity to take the shot that wasn't quite as clean as the one they gave him. And so they searched out, a lot of times we say, search out a great shot, not what you think is a good shot, search out a great one. And they searched out a great shot in a timely manner. We had to time out, we had to execute and run something, and they came out and got the best shot available, which was Jordan, was a really good shooter. He had a great look.
You've seen your share of great players over your years as a coach. What did you think of Darren Peterson in the way that he played, and how difficult is it to prepare for players, especially one who's so talented but hasn't played as much this year?
I was so impressed. I've been able to play 2 of the players so far, 2 of the 3 or 5 players they say are going to be first picks in the draft. He's one of them. We had a chance to play against Boozer as well, another one. And I tell you what, those young freshmen are truly, truly talented. They are more mature than their years. And watching them play physically, their bodies are ready. The maturity level, the poise they play with. And so, I was thoroughly impressed with this game. I didn't know what to expect other than I knew he was really good. But seeing him up person, seeing him live, he's a great player. He's one of the best basketball players in college basketball. And when people are saying that, they're absolutely right. He is one of the best basketball players I've seen in a number of years, to be quite frank. And I just hope the young man can stay healthy and can finish out, his college career, because I think he's great for our game.
Coach, even when Peterson was out for a majority of the second half, Melvin Council stepped up there for Kansas. Considering how you've talked about this team playing for each other and playing together, what is it like to be able to get a win where you guys were able to spread the ball around like you have when people like Peterson and Council were breaking out?
Well, again, like I said, I've coached teams that have guys that a couple guys that really kind of carry the load. This team, is one that's built where a number of guys can step up and have their night. And that's what I think we've done all this preseason, is guys have been able to step up, whether it's guys off the bench, whether it's guys who are starting. And it's been a fun group to coach in that regard. Sometimes you go to sleep and you like to know that this player is going to get you X, Y, or Z. This team isn't really built that way. It's built where those guys do a great job, of playing together, and they can have their moments, but everyone can have their moment on our team. And I think you see that they're all confident that when the plays are in front of them, they can make them. And I just want to continue to see that develop with our guys.
Coach, just a couple of things stood out to me that I know you're proud of in practice, but your depth obviously was a difference in the game. You had more depth, and your depth performed better. And the second thing, the intangibles, the little things, you won the points off turnovers, the points in the paint, the second chance points, the bench scoring. When you look at those things, what does that say about this team you've put together?
Well, like I said, when we were trying to put together a team, and I don't get to say this too often, but like my staff does an amazing job. They're doing an amazing job. I can, my vision of what I want is one thing, but the guys that go out there and help us recruit and find the guys that fit what we want to do, that's on my staff, and I did a great job. I gave them, hey, this is some directive. This is what I would like to see it look like, and I thought they did a terrific job of finding the pieces that would fit, as you mentioned. We wanted to play with some depth. We wanted to, get some Big 12 bodies, because that's the one thing we've seen over the last few years. Just the sheer wear and tear, game after game. Can you survive it? It's like a gauntlet, once you start playing league games. And so we tried to find bodies and guys that could play through those situations. And we still got 17 more to go to find out how durable we are and how good our depth will be as we continue. But that was kind of our goal, was to try to put that together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.